Hi, we're live on Fun Frolicking Friday.
Hello, hello, world. Welcome, welcome. I am ecstatic and I'm happy you're here and I'm happy to be here and I'm happy that Karez is here. And today we are going to be exploring this ecstatic energy that you're kind of probably seeing in me and feeling in me, and the ecstatic energy of life, our sexual energy, our life force energy, our creative energy, and the essence of it, the art of play, and connecting to our inner child, connecting to wonder, going beyond the limits of our physical bodies while learning how to really enjoy the experience of being in this physical body in a deeper way. Um, yeah. So I'm Candace of the Temple of Frolic, and I've been guiding people on journeys in their body for around 8+ years, and using Tantra and sacred sexuality, conscious play, and intimacy. Um, one of the things that in the beginning I would relate um, what I do and the kind of journeys that I take people on to. Like, some people are familiar with Reiki as like a basic spiritual practice of playing with energy. And the way I think of Tantra or conscious intimacy, it's like Reiki on ecstasy. It's yeah, you're really dipping into the pool of the entirety of all that we are. Um, yeah, so I could go on and on. I am really feeling it, and I'm excited to talk about it with you and Karezza. So, Karezza, what brings you here today?
Yeah, hi everyone. I'm Karezza, and I'm the creator and founder of the Intimate Playground. I actually use clay in my sessions and consistently creating new fun activities and games and little workshops to do for singles and couples from all walks of life. I'm a big player as well. I love to play. I love to create. I love to expand and use play to create more joy, more pleasure, and to create a more orgasmic life for myself and for those around us. So
Mm, yeah. Mm, I'm happy you're here, and I
me
am
too.
really happy that I've discovered the art of play and
Yeah.
going beyond. Um, yeah. So I kind of want to put a little shout out before I get totally lost in this topic that I just get really passionately lost about. Um, to Jay Mayer of Light Touch, and it's also his
Yay,
birthday this
Jay.
weekend. So you want to join us this sacred Sunday at 1 p.m. so we
Yeah.
can celebrate Jay Mayer of Light Touch. If you want to learn a little bit more about Light Touch, definitely get in touch. Get in touch. It's
Yeah.
one of the ways that I like to play with my energy. Um, in the sacred, in the spiritual realms, which doesn't always have to be the case when we're talking about play. Um, I think acknowledging our bodies, acknowledging our sexual energy as vulnerable and sacred and reverent, like, that's spiritual to me. Like, spirituality doesn't always have to involve believing in something outside the body. Is really honing in on the gifts and what is going on in this body. And yeah, like for me, I love dressing up. This is one of the ways I like to play. And
Yeah.
I like to, it's not just for someone, it's not just for you guys. Um, it makes me feel good. This is something I like to do for myself on a regular basis, to play with myself, to uh, awaken different parts of me and play with different parts of me, um, as well as like the sensuality, my sexuality,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
yeah, and I do like to share it with others. But I also love just, and I think it's very important to have a personal play practice of some sort.
Mm.
Um, and, even if you have a partner, to still, uh,
Yeah,
yeah, be with you too.
definitely.
Yeah. How do you explore with yourself? I know you have some creations you've discovered, Karezza, and
Yeah, well,
to all of you out
so
there, have all of you out there discovered your inner child at play in
yeah,
relationship to your sexuality, your spirituality? Have you allowed yourself to really enjoy, and what does that mean and look like for you?
yeah,
And you, Karezza.
definitely. Well, I'm in the midst of creating this erotic adult gack or Play-Doh, whatever you want to call it, from way back when. I don't know if you remember, like Nickelodeon used to have this stuff. It's like stretchy and gooey, and you used to play with your hands and be able to do tons of stuff with it, and they still sell it out there, but it's for kids or adults as well. But this creation that I'm creating is only for adults, and it's non-toxic, no chemicals, all organic and natural. And what I do, it's actually like a sensual erotic dough for foreplay or play, just playing with the body, feeling something else, a different new sensation on your body. No insertions as well. So it's really for outer play.
Mhm.
And what that feels for you with this stimulating, sensual, essential oils as well, where some oils are for more for men, and some oils are for just for women as well, that I found. So it's really interesting.
Mm.
Um,
Mm.
and just to play and to feel that on your body, or to play between each other. um yeah, it's clean, it's fun, and it's natural.
Mm.
um yeah.
I'm excited to explore with some of that. I've like made some of my own, different um things to play with on the body.
Oh yeah.
But I don't think I've ever explored with something that has that gacky, like that. I know what
Yeah.
you're talking about, the Nickelodeon gack. I played with that,
Yeah.
so like,
Yeah.
wow, that would be like really cool with the sticky factor of it, you know?
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, yeah,
So
it's yeah, it sounds really, really fun.
exciting.
As we're talking about this, I'm reminded of, one of the events that I do that I talk about a lot, because it's so fun when I've done the erotic play, like a temple brunch.
Oh
And
yeah.
yeah, and we use our bodies as the mandalas. And so things get really messy and really, really fun though. Like I'm just remembering turning people's bodies into slip and slides. Like I'm little, so if you get a big person and you cover them with coconut oil, oh my God, you can really like turn them into a human slip and slide. And it feels so good
I'm
for
sure.
the
Yeah.
human, for both every party. And then if you add chocolate syrup, it gets a little sticky. So you have to like work a little harder and you get to taste it every once in a while. And it's just so fun. And
Ooh.
like,
Um,
yeah, as we're having this conversation, I could feel my smile and like,
mhm.
and the laughter and like how valuable that is, and being able to enjoy um and smile. And I think Jay Mayer, actually, one of the ways he likes to explain light touch in relationship to how some people relate to sexuality, some people in section, in sexual realms, you just kind of keep it in the lower realms. Um, but this is really about bringing it up to a higher frequency and really tapping into it and letting it move through you. Um, and for me, in my world, like I love doing ritual and doing like real sacred medicine journeys. Um, and creating the atmosphere. May that be the wardrobe, may that be whatever linens, may that be the essential oils, may that be the candles, the music, like,
Mhm.
yeah. And God, don't wait till you have a partner. Do it for yourself
I
too.
agree. And I
you
think,
know?
yeah, with ritual that you're talking about, for me, it's very important as well. And I mean, I'm not as spiritual. I'm conscious and deep, but I'm not spiritual. I may be a little bit, but I'm not fully. And what I find that, creating a space, dedicating time for yourself and doing something fun or dressing up or having a cup of tea and just having a meal and lighting a candle, once a week or something, to put more awareness and more meaning into that space and time outside of the mundane is so important. And when you take it into relationship context, you can do so much as well. And it's really when we do ritual or we put a time and a place or space to kind of organize this time each week to consciously dedicate to spending a meaningful time with one another. You're consciously choosing love over, conflict as well. You're choosing you and your lover over, the bad times as well. Even if you're struggling, you still take that time out of the week to still put more love and all the positives into that relationship. And it doesn't have to be, spiritual. You can have a game night or have a dress up night where you take time to have fun. Like, it doesn't always have to be like a meditation or something like that. It can be fun, it can be light, it can be laughter, and all of it as well.
Mm. And it's like filling up your love cup,
Yeah,
and
yeah, yeah,
giving your relationship the regular dose of love it deserves.
yeah, yeah.
Um, yeah, and I just realized this whole time I was like talking with this on my hand, but did not say a damn thing about it. Just like, la, 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 this is my second hand. Um, so I got to tell you about this guy here. We've been on some journeys,
Aw.
haven't we? Yes, we have. So I actually got him at a store that's like very close to where one of my Tantra schools I went to is located, along with, does he have, oh, he's right here. I actually have one of the other ones. So I got these puppets for sensual play. That was like the entire intention of these puppets. So yeah, and um, being silly, being
Yeah.
playful, as well as the sensation of the fur, or there's many sensations on this dragon here. Um, and then taking on like role playing,
Oh yeah.
um, taking on the energy of being a soft little bunny or a ferocious dragon, um, yeah, that can be so much fun.
Yeah.
Whether it be childlike play and role play or more adult BDSM exploration. And on the topic of that, I feel as a tantrika, there is so much we can learn about ourselves and who we are by our desires around sexuality or our fantasies or BDSM and whatnot. And yeah, there's just such a healing point there,
Yeah.
that gets really, really ignored. I think all the sensual arts are that. Like, I feel that's the other thing I was thinking of before we came live. Um, Life and our body and this experience is like that of art. We can really make it beautiful, and there's no right or wrong. And yeah, I love the thinking of myself, and we could paint um experiences.
Ooh. Um, I have a couple of people that
Yeah.
are talking. Diane Dobda, she said, Candace, you are beyond the beyond. Love you. And she said something else. Feathers are so essential while speaking light touch. Jay being the master of light touch.
Yes.
Jay.
So that's Jay in light touch. We use feathers a lot. I'm just a rebel, and I'm always like, let's do all different things.
Yeah.
This is my light touch bunny.
Yeah.
Yeah, feathers are amazing.
Yeah.
For activators, for slowing things down, for really tuning into the gift of sensation, the gift of touch. Um, and on that topic, with using our hands, like if you were to take your pinky and use that on you or someone versus your ring finger or every finger, it will feel very, very different. Um, they all have energetic elements to them. And the pinky reminds me of the energy of a feather, or the ring finger. These are, I think it's like air and ether, these two right here.
Oh.
So they're very soft.
Yeah.
Yeah. And even when you go like this, you could probably feel it. At least
Yeah.
I can.
Yeah. You're
Mm.
right.
Yeah, we are like, there's so much information in this body, and so much pleasure to be had. Um, mm, yeah, yeah, I'm
Yeah,
grateful.
and I think when we incorporate play or like sensation play, or I love the five senses game and things like this, it allows it's not just about the sensation on a physical level or a pleasure level within the body. I feel that once we can get in touch with these senses, we can actually expand them into living orgasmically. So we can take the energy, take all the pleasure of being blindfolded and fed or licked off of, or whatever you do, and actually bring it in to every mundane thing that we do in terms of how we eat, how we drink, how we interact with nature, how we touch the sand, that it becomes, you become it. It's almost like you become it. It's not just out there to touch. You actually become it. You embody the feeling. Or when you go into the water, it becomes this experience that it's not just about going into the water. You can smell it, you can taste it, you can see it, you can feel it, everything is incorporated in it. And that's how sex should be. That's how intimacy should be. And that's how it's all connected as well. It's not just this pleasure orgasmic feeling. It's not just within us, but it's out. It's out all over the world. It's in everything. The energy is limitless and it's never ending. So if you can tap into that, you can have amazing journeys. Outside of yourself as well.
Yeah.
You don't need a partner to take you there as well. So.
Yep.
Yeah.
Or even at a distance.
Yeah.
I'm in a place of really getting a firsthand reminder of the power of energetic sex and, how you can still connect and activate yourself and activate one another through genuine heart soul connections. That connection, when you're not forcing it, but you're allowing it, and it's just kind of taking you. That's how I feel like sexual energy, opening up to a place of allowance versus forcing things is like one of the key elements of what we're talking about with going beyond and exploring play and really enjoying this life and this body. Yeah. Anything else from anyone else out there?
Joseph Rader says, it all sounds fun.
Yay! I'd love to hear from those of you out there, if you've explored non-traditional play, or if you have desires, what are your curiosities? What are your desires? And even sometimes, like, just type it in here, and it opens it up. I know for me, I did not really allow myself to really ask for what I wanted and needed. And it took me a while. And I actually found my safety through exploring in virtual relating. There was just that barrier. It was just another way. And fantasy and desire and allowance. There's so much. And I think I know I had a lot of shame for like, I want to be a good girl. kind of thing going on for a little while. And yeah, slut shame, just to be like really real. I
Sure.
I had that, and that really kept me from allowing myself to play and enjoy.
Mm.
Of hair all over my hat.
But I think, I think it's also important to note, though, that when we do want to play or go into BDSM or kink or any of these sexual desires, with someone, in relationship or not, that we take the time to really understand and communicate about these things. That it's not about being open to every single thing and let's just do whatever, but it's really about, experiencing the depths of pleasure is about kind of having a space before play where you can communicate about what the rules are, or about words that you use or things that you do. If it gets to a point where it's too much, or maybe something's just triggered and you need to stop, and to understand each other's needs and boundaries, and having like a safe word to feel safe with someone, and then experiencing it, and then the post session, what happens after this pleasure play, and if something comes up for you, it's not just about, you play and then you go and then it's, that's it, but it's a whole experience that, it can bring up things and it can help you heal as well. So it's important to understand each other and what those boundaries and what those needs are in that time.
Mhm. Yeah,
As well.
taking the time to really communicate.
Yeah.
Communication is sexy. Communication is
Yeah.
important. I think everything is on the table for discussion. If you
Yeah.
are thinking about interacting with someone and sharing of your most potent, most vulnerable,
Yeah.
most intimate energy, yeah, you can ask whatever you want. Like,
Mhm.
it's time to talk. Um, and if you don't open that door, like, there's just so many areas that would never get explored, and there's just lots of danger. And um, when you do open that door, it could be so much fun. Um, and like really having the vulnerable conversations,
Yeah.
the emotional conversations. Um, yeah, yeah. And
Well, oh, yeah.
huh?
I have Joseph said something about communication. It's something that conversation is more intimate, or sometimes conversation is more intimate than the sexual act. So,
Yes, yes. I could totally understand that. There's a term,
yeah.
called, it's a sapiosexual,
Yeah.
and it sounds like you might be sapiosexual.
Me too. Oh,
Hold on, one moment, please.
yay.
Oh no.
Oh,
I don't know what's going on. Can you hear me?
uh-oh. Yeah, I can, but it's frozen. Maybe you should.
Okay, I'm
Uh,
trying to figure it out. One moment, please, guys.
it's
Okay.
okay. Oh, sorry. Technical difficulties. We should have Candace back on in a moment. Just bear with us. Um, Yeah. So, I don't know what's going on. What happened? Um, uh-oh. Just waiting. I hope she can get back on. But yeah. Ah, there she is. Hi.
Did I make it back? I did it.
Yes, you're here. You're here.
Yay. Sorry, guys.
It's
And
okay.
you
It's
know what?
okay.
I actually kind of remember what I was talking about.
Sapiosexual.
Yes, and communication.
Yes.
Um, yes, and so yeah, being able to, or demisexual, if
Mm,
there's the emotionality to
yeah.
the conversation. Like I'm demisexual and sapiosexual. So
Mm,
and I'm blind. So as a blind person, like what someone says is just like so important. Like communication was important
yeah.
before, but now it's even that much more important.
Yeah. Oh,
Um, and like when I'm with myself and like I'm doing self pleasure or ritual with myself, I often find myself um, um, like I see it as self love. It's an act of self love. So even if I guess get lost in fantasy and it involves someone else, I imagine them loving me, telling me everything I need to and want to hear, thanking me
mm,
for being with me, just worshiping me and adoring me. And
yes.
whatever it is I'm feeling like I need, like I create that for myself. Um,
Wow. Wow.
yeah,
That's
yeah,
beautiful. Yeah.
yes, yeah.
Wow.
Words are so delicious.
Yeah,
Um,
definitely.
mhm.
Mm,
Yeah, and even tears and like uh
mm,
having when I can hear that someone is really approaching a big wall. Like I've seen clients do this and I hear it on the phone, like they've never asked somebody or mentioned this, or they don't know how to ask for this, or
yeah.
they're just so petrified.
Mhm,
Um, like I can hear it in their voice,
mm,
that this is just a long held, like I can hear like the child in them. I could hear the innocence in them. And there's such a purity and a beauty and to that vulnerability. It creates a level of safety,
yeah. Mm,
which allows our sex center to open up more. Um, yeah,
mm.
bring it all. I think that's one of the other things about Tantra I want to mention. There's like some basics of Tantra. Like it's so big to me. Tantra's life. Um,
Yeah.
but one of the things like I learned in the beginning and in relationship to like Reiki in our body is we're not always used to having everything working together. Things are very separate, especially our sexuality. It's just it,
Yeah.
it's it happens. We put it in a door, we put it in a box, we
Yep.
cover it up, we stuff it. There's just so much.
Yeah.
Um, so that energy in particular often needs assistance energetically, emotionally, in getting it to move, getting it to open, and getting it to interact with our heart, getting it to weave with our mind, our consciousness, and everything else. And yeah, yeah. And self play, I think, is, another one of those places we often first find access. And so, yeah.
Beautiful.
Meow!
Yay. And I think, with sex in general, or play and sex, it's important to note as well that it's, what we feel, what comes up, and is different all the time, I think, as well. Just because today we want what we want, tomorrow our needs or wants may be different, and being able to flow in that kind of unknown, that not everything is planned, and that, sex is not just one dimensional and linear, that it incorporates so many aspects of ourselves, and so many, it can be high, it can be low, it can be slow, it can be passionate, it can be erotic and sensual, it can be so many things, at any moment.
Mm-hmm. It could be scary. Like that's
Yeah.
right. I think
Yeah.
of you're talking about it can look a lot of different ways. And,
Yeah.
Sometimes, I get this and I experience this, like when, you're opening up to these parts of you that, have been long held or you don't really let other people see. When you're dropping into that vulnerability and that inner child, like stuff does come up. For
Yeah.
me, like when mm, when I let go and I'm like when I surrender, my masculine has a hard time. Like I have a strong masculine. It's easier for me to be in more dominant positions, um, and have to have control. So I have to do more work on letting go and being femme. That's just my thing. And so for me, I definitely often there's like little girl emotion stuff that comes up, that I tell my, potential partners about, like, hey, if we go to these places, I just let you know on the other side, um, I may be an emotional basket case. Are you cool with that? You still gonna be there?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just be
Yeah.
real. Yeah.
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 Definitely.
We're totally allowed to ask for what we want and say no to what we don't want. And yeah,
Yeah.
I had to learn that.
I think the art of saying no is very difficult for people, because especially in sex, or if something is wrong, a lot of people will not say it, because they are uncomfortable, or because maybe they don't want the other person to think it's about them.
Yeah.
And it's really about the person.
Hmm. Yeah. We're scared to
And
hurt the other person's feelings.
yeah,
Yeah.
more
But then,
than saying yes. Yeah.
yeah. And then our feelings get ignored. We then say that their needs are more important than ours. So my needs don't
Yeah.
matter.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
unfortunate. And
Yeah.
I think
Definitely.
that's the femme thing. I think that happens. And that's why I have a strong masculine. I have a strong, like, ain't nobody playing that game with me. No, no, no,
No.
no, no. I'm not going there.
No.
My inner masculine wants to protect my femme.
Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely.
In
Definitely.
those, yeah.
I
Yeah.
hear you. Yeah.
Mm, I love it. I love the dynamic dance of
Mm.
the human experience and the art of play, in life, in relationship, in everything. Mm,
Yeah. And
yeah.
I think play allows us to explore. And I mean, my with myself, I've always been a kid, just big kid at heart. I've always looked at things differently and always wanted to explore it more rather than just the surface of things. But by being able to explore in sex means you can explore in life, or creatively as well. It's And seeing that life is more than just a linear line or in a one-dimensional place. And it's not just about sex. It's connected to everything, to all that is, to life itself, to everything,
Mm,
you know?
yeah. That just reminded me of, tapping, coming back to connecting to nature.
Yeah.
Um, and like, I've had some beautiful experiences with myself and with others with nature,
Mm.
and
Hmm.
um,
Yeah.
connecting to the creative sexual life force energy of this
Yeah.
planet, of the water that flows through us and all around us. Um, ugh, yeah, yeah.
Oh,
It's so
goodness.
yummy.
It is. God, I remember just, being in nature and just taking leaves or like pieces of the earth or the trees and just using it as a toy as well for pleasure. Like it's amazing what nature can do as well, because there's so many beautiful things out there that you can use, you can touch, you can feel, that you don't even have to buy, that are so sensual and so erotic and so playful, that you can just go out into nature for free and just grab yourself uh you know some stuff and really have a great play
Mm,
with your body, and connecting to nature as well, connecting to everything. I mean, that's delicious. I mean, yeah.
I, for me, I love having my yoni on the earth. Like that's usually one of my personal play practices that, unfortunately, right now, because of where I live, it's not something I could do with
uh,
ease. Um, but in appropriate weather with a nice long skirt, you can get away with it at anywhere. So, just a little tip for all you out there that may want to
that's true.
experience putting yourself bare on the earth.
Or wrapping
um,
yourself around trees
yeah,
and things like that. That's
yeah,
cool.
hugging a tree, wrapping your legs around a tree. Um, yeah, connecting to the sexual energy of the earth.
Oh
For me,
yeah.
that I feel it, and that feels good to me.
Yeah.
Um, I know not everybody may relate to that. Um, that's why I feel like the ocean, and
Yeah. Oh,
yeah, the
yeah.
ocean's one of my big sources. Um,
Mm.
yeah.
Yummy. Yeah.
Ah, what time
Oh,
is
it's
it,
so
love?
good. It's 1:45.
Okay, cool, cool. Are
Or
there
quarter
any
to
other?
two. To two. Sorry.
I know what you meant. Yeah.
Two o'clock.
Any other comments out there?
Um, oh, Joseph said running water is very sensual as well. Maybe the
Mhm.
sounds or just feeling it on your skin,
Mm,
perhaps.
yeah, water and waterfalls and
Oh yeah. Ooh,
bathtubs and
yay. I love water as well.
yeah,
But I
yeah.
think when we can connect to nature, I think it makes us appreciate, eco talking and as ecosexual, as an ecosexual, being aware that, even the stuff that we do use for sex products, that that we make sure that it doesn't affect the earth as well, because it's all connected, and that when we go into nature and we make love to nature, that this is our lover, it's your like your it's your lover. The earth is
Mm,
technically your lover, and would you then, it kind of gives you a perspective, maybe, that if we don't recycle, if we just throw things away or pollute the earth, that it's, that's all we got. So it's going to destroy it destroys eventually. The
mm,
more that we pollute and do nasty things, that it disintegrates and shortens the expectancy of life and the earth
mm.
as well.
Acknowledging the earth and nature as a support,
Yeah,
as some as an energy to love, as a life force, as a being.
yeah.
Um,
Mhm, mhm.
yeah, yeah. Mm. The
Yeah,
warmth of the sun, when I feel the warmth of the sun like that and feeling my body heat up, that's like definitely one of my, just drops me in. Um, yeah, that's probably one of my easiest and my most loved nature kind of experiences.
beautiful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Thinking about playing and like
Yay.
there's all the possibilities. And, if you imagine we let go of fear of being judged, of
Mm, yeah,
of spiritual or religious fear, parental fears, societal fears, um, and find that sweet, safe, sacred container, and maybe that is just virtual. Maybe, like there's so many ways to just at least crack open that door of giving permission to ourselves, um, to desire, to want, to play, to be heard, seen, and acknowledged in
yeah,
what we desire. Um, mm, yeah, it
yeah,
opens up this sense of liberation and freedom. Um,
yeah.
just like when you think about a child running around and like
Yeah,
they're excited and they believe in magic and
I know.
everything's awesome. Ah,
Yeah,
that kind of
yeah.
energy, that kind of confidence, that kind of security, that kind of innocence.
And there's no conditions set upon them. So when they're naked or running around naked or something, there's no body shame, there's nothing,
Yeah.
that it's pure, pure love, pure innocence.
Mm,
And that's truly their essence. That's truly who they are in that moment. I mean, but you can have that as well as an adult. I just think there's a lot of hiccups and conditions set upon us, that we have to create a new, uncondition ourselves and create a new life,
Mm.
without shame, and living in love rather than thinking it's outside of us and it's unattainable, or I have to be in a relationship to have it. That it's always there. It's part of life, it's part of sex, it's part of all of the energy
Mhm.
um out there. And energy doesn't, you know never dies, so it's something that you can always tap into.
Mm. Mm. I'm just reminded of the energy of um, someone, I've just experienced, many people who still have so much sexual shame.
Yeah.
And yeah, the level of um, low emotion, and the vibration that they're at, and their capacity to access pleasure and joy in every area of their life, it's just like that, of the permission they're giving to themselves to explore their
Okay.
sexuality as a reverent being. Um, yeah, it's just, yeah, it's sad. It's so sad.
I
But I'm
know.
so grateful we have people like us. And
Yay.
yes, and I'm grateful that we have play. And I'm grateful that I can dress up and enjoy myself and drop in.
Woo.
And I hope that this has inspired all of you to somehow, some way, find a way to open up that sacred door of play. Like all those places, what are they? And how are you going to get there? And yeah, what's in the
Yes.
way?
And one more last comment,
Yeah.
probably today. Yes. Oh, from Jenny. From Jenny D. Dom.
Oh,
Yes. Yeah. Yes to all the ecosexuals out there.
yeah, yeah. Yay, Jenny. Hey, Jenny's joined us before. She's definitely an ecosexual, so
Yeah.
awesome sauce.
Yay.
Yeah, yeah. It's hard. I think it's getting hot. This today, it's been really weird. We haven't had the sun,
Yeah.
and I could feel the temperature changing, and I'm excited. I could open up the
Yay.
windows so I can enjoy it. Yeah,
Yes.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Ah, so definitely, um, yeah, find a way to play today. And if you need any support or guidance,
Yeah.
definitely, stay in the loop and follow us. Definitely head on over to Karezza's page. She posts these great games you can play. And you can find some different things on my YouTube as well. And yeah, if you want to explore
Yay.
with us more directly, just get in touch with us directly. If you're watching this later and you just want to make a comment, we will see it. So please do
Yeah.
comment. If it's more personal, feel free to reach out.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Awesome. Yeah.
Anything
Thank you out there, to all the viewers, all the comments, all the
Thank
people who have interacted.
you. We gotta send some bunny love. My bunny meows. It's a meowing rabbit. Yep. Meow meow meow.
Uh,
All right. Bye,
Oh,
everyone out there. I'm gonna send
have a
you
great weekend.
soft, bunny, furry, light touches.
Love to you all out there. Mwah.
Meow.
And
Yay.
yeah, thank you guys. See you next time.
Over and